The hidden loneliness of high-achieving women. So guys, recently I have been noticing on social media how a lot of modern-day high-achieving women are complaining of loneliness. And I'm talking about the woman who has everything. She's proud of herself, great life, great career, beautiful friendships. She has traveled the world, a good life. Yet loneliness knows her by her name. Yeah. And don't get me started on her belief that when she achieves success, the right man is going to be right there waiting for her, available for her. She is ashamed to admit it because she was taught that successful women are meant to be fulfilled by now, in her 30s. So now she is stuck with two fears: settling for a man she doesn't respect or admire, or spending the rest of her life alone. And if this is you, you are not the only woman carrying this weight silently. There's a certain kind of woman so many people envy from a distance. She worked hard for everything. She had nothing handed to her. She went to therapy, healed her wounds, did the work, built a career, impressive career, learned how to survive disappointment, created standards, created boundaries, created stability, and now she has built a life she is proud of. However, love became, complicated. Because once a woman builds such a beautiful life, she becomes terrified of letting anyone in. She doesn't want that life destroyed. She has worked hard for it. People are harsh towards women like this. They say your standard is too high. You're too picky. You waited too long. Are these women choosing something that doesn't exist for them? Actually, what she wants is a partner with a higher financial and educational status. A man they admire, a man they can proudly introduce to their friends, into the life they have worked so hard to build. Couldn't it be that after struggling for years, it becomes emotionally painful to carry another adult, financially, emotionally, mentally, and socially? So when people say, just give him a chance, what she hears is, lower your standards. You did all this for nothing. You do not get to have your cake and eat it. So she suffers quietly, crying alone in her beautiful home. Whenever she finally meets a man that looks like he is finally on her level, successful, confident, respectful, attractive, and she says to herself, finally someone who belongs in my world. But then the relationship starts demanding pieces of her she has fought hard to protect. Boundaries she fought hard to protect are now being crossed. Now she is compromising constantly while he is demanding consistently. She is now taking all the nonsense she rejected, all the nonsense she couldn't make sense of. Like we say in Nigeria, water don't pass gari. She is accepting behavior she normally would never tolerate because she's scared this might be her last chance at love. So she now over-explains, over-accommodates, over-performs. A bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. She becomes flexible in places where she should have remained firm. And one day she realizes she is losing herself trying to keep this relationship alive. And that realization breaks women deeply. Not just because the relationship ended, but because they betrayed themselves to keep it. You became the mat he wiped his feet on. After the breakup, the woman is ashamed to admit publicly that her ideal match isn't matching her. Because now she's asking herself terrifying questions. Did I ask for too much? Will I ever find someone I genuinely admire and he genuinely wants me to? If she stays single too long, she is mocked. If she lowers her standards, she suffers. And let me just add that women are being watched with zero compassion. Women like this, But I think the real issue is deeper than high standards. A lot of women are in what society calls masculine energy, carrying their childhood trauma and survival patterns as they go. Many big girls had to become strong too early. And in the words of the famous philosopher Wendy Williams, she said, they didn't grow up, they were dragged up or pulled up. Yeah, you know what I mean. So now that standard they have built for themselves, their scars and fears must be healed by their dream man who apparently doesn't want them. I mean, she can't trust a man with less, so she chooses highly accomplished men. Maybe she will finally feel safe enough. But let's not forget the adage, a man is known by his company. Birds of a feather flock together. It could also be that she cares about what her friends and her colleagues might say, or even think. But status does not automatically create safety, be it physically, emotionally, or materially. Haven't you ever heard of stingy rich men? Haven't you? My sister, they exist. So ask yourself this question. Do you really need perfection? Or you need rest, safety, partnership, and consistency? That is not unreasonable, you know. So what can women like this do? First, stop shaming yourself for wanting what you want. And why not? But also ask yourself honestly, if my friends didn't care, and I didn't care about what anyone thought, would my standards still remain my standards? Look, no relationship comes without a compromise. They only show the world their best selves and not their pains, not their scars. The question is, which compromises cost you your dignity and your peace? Remember, most men don't think the way you do. That man you're dying for, that man that you want desperately, he might be dying for the simple waitress working in a cheap restaurant. Look, don't let loneliness convince you to abandon yourself, to abandon your standards. No. I know it hurts, it's painful, but betraying yourself is going to be worse. Also, stop believing love has to look impressive and expensive to be meaningful. The normal average guy you dismiss every day, the regular dude, that guy could be your forever love story. Listen, you are allowed to grieve love. You are allowed to desire partnership deeply. After all, women were created for companionship. I mean, we are nurturers. Don't forget that. But do not turn your current loneliness into proof that you're unlovable, please. And you're also allowed to feel exhausted about dating. To my queens listening to this quietly, the woman pretending she's okay because her career is thriving. The woman who is scared because she thinks time is not on her side anymore. The woman tired of starting over. The woman wondering if she made the wrong choices. You are not alone. There are more women carrying this exact confusion than society wants to admit. And maybe the goal is not finding the perfect man. Maybe the goal is being in a relationship where you do not abandon yourself to be loved. What do you think? So my queens, drop your comments in the comment section. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.